Welcome back. So the 9th World Water Forum is taking place this week, and the conversation around water is an important one worldwide, with many people struggling to access clean drinking water. Many of the world's leading water experts have gathered to discuss the water challenges that we face. So where does South Africa fit into all of this? Well, Global Water Partnership Special Advisor Mr. Remigious Makumbe joins us now to discuss this. Thank you so much for speaking to us, Mr. Makumbe. We really do appreciate it. I think firstly, if we bring the water discussion back home to South Africa, and we talk about whether or not we're treating our infrastructure well enough and our resources as well, what are some of the challenges that first come to mind for you?
Thank you very much for having me. With regard to South Africa, obviously there is a lot of challenges as is profiled in the media from time to time. But looking at the data that we do have, access to water in South Africa is about 93%, and access to sanitation is about 61%. These figures vary depending on which source you're looking at, but I think the long and short of it is that give and take, these are the figures. So in terms of the challenges that South Africa is facing, I think there is need, first of all, to ensure that there is mobilization of resources, to ensure that there is funding that is available. But at the same time, there is also need to ensure that we identify the priority projects that can ensure that we bridge the gap that is prevailing in terms of access to water. And at the end of the day, the most important issue is to prioritize the project, particularly those that are going to provide us with more water than others. And I think this is really a very good basis. Secondly, we need to ensure that we get resources for preparation of the project to bankability, so that any funders, both local and external government, as well as multilateral institutions, can immediately fund the projects. So that is very important. And this will go along with the South Africa Water and Sanitation Master Plan.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested particularly in the discussions around the water quality, though, in the country, and what work needs to be done there. I mean, there's been a lot of questions around our water quality, particularly with the recent conversations around whether or not typhoid comes from our water.
Basically, one has to look at the entire value chain in terms of provision of water. Firstly, we do need what we call the bulk water supply that is provided to South Africans from many sources. And then we also need the reticulation that then disseminates water into the different localities of South Africa. And in that reticulation, we then need to have specific water treatment works that ensure that the quality meets the standards that are prescribed globally to ensure that everybody has got access to quality water in South Africa. And at the end of the day, these are some of the bottlenecks that we do face, particularly on the reticulation from time to time. So we need to ensure that we do have capacity and we take action around the need to provide that reticulation and the purification of water, which is very important because we need to take care of the entire value chain right to the household.
Yeah, I mean, we are a water scarce country. Are there discussions that we need to be having around sustainability over the long term? Well, we're not talking about these patches of dryness that we see in parts of the country, and particularly from a municipal point of view, where it's a service delivery problem all of a sudden. Just from a long-term point of view, where South Africa's priorities really need to be.
In terms of sustainability of water access, I think there are many aspects that we could actually deal with. First and foremost, we need to take full advantage of the sources that we do have in South Africa from the various catchments. Secondly, we need to ensure that we exploit as much groundwater as is possible to ensure that data availability is very high. But at the end of the day, we also need to continue to have cooperation with our neighbors, particularly within the framework of the river basins in which South Africa is a member. For example, we do have the Lesotho Highlands, which are part of the Orasekon Basin, from which South Africa is drawing a lot of water. So we need much more of those to ensure that we are able to provide adequate water for South Africa. These are the kind of solutions that we'd like to see. But at the same time, one of the key is that where water is available, sometimes it's not utilized optimally. We also need to ensure that there is a lot of information dissemination with regard to utilization of water, because those that do access water, particularly at low costs, always use more water than they really should use. So every drop counts. So conservation is important.
All right. Well, thank you so much for speaking to us. We really do appreciate it. Global Water Partnership Special Advisor, Mr. Remigious Makumbe, speaking to us there.